Hello, YouTube. How are you doing today? Today is the reflection with Ruth from Kindred Spirit Tarot channel. Uh, Ruth has a great story, a great reflection to give to us on how Patrick has influenced her life. But before I go any further, I just want to remind everybody that I don't live alone here. I live in a basement and it's not easy to plan an appointment. So if you hear people walking and the music, there's stuff going on upstairs and I just can't reschedule because of that. So if you hear the music and stuff going on upstairs, I apologize, but just try to do like we do. Just how we say that root as abstracted, like
Yeah,
don't
just
pay attention.
don't pay attention. Just desensitize yourself to it. To be fair, I can't hear anything though, Caroline, so I
Yeah,
don't think anyone else will.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you don't hear it, and I sincerely hope that at the end result we won't hear it. So this being said, Root, you ready?
I'm ready.
So my first question is, how did you meet Patrick?
Well, I first met Patrick on Wayne's show. I had been on Wayne's show prior to meeting Patrick, and not long before I went on the show with Wayne, the very first time, Wayne emailed me and asked me, could I talk to the planets through the cards? And it's not something I'd ever done or ever considered doing, but it just so happened that I had a deck of cards that does have the symbols of the planets on. And so I had a little play and I wrote down the answers, and I went through all of that with Wayne on the show. I didn't kind of go any further with that because I needed validation on what I was saying. So I kind of did a few questions, repeated it all to Wayne, who said, "You have no idea how spot on you are." And I remember saying, "No, I don't, do I really?" Because I just didn't. Then I don't know if it was the following week or maybe the week after, Patrick was on. And I was just absolutely blown away. And I think it may have even been a few days after that Wayne emailed me and asked me if I would like to go on with Patrick I think it was the following week, maybe.
Well, if you met Patrick on Talking with the Planet number 1, they were talking with the planet 2, 3, and then you were back 4. So
Yeah,
3
it
weeks
was
later.
Okay, so number 4. And that is actually when I first got to speak to Patrick and meet Patrick. So you'll know if you go on Wayne's show, you just get a little few minutes beforehand just to exchange pleasantries. And so we kind of just said hello to each other and asked, where we were kind of in relation to each other, and discovered that probably we only live about 4 hours drive from each other.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded with the show. And so Patrick was using his pendulum, myself with the cards. And on a personal level there, I felt I kind of interrupted the flow of that show.
Really?
I did, yeah. I felt, I just felt the flow of the pendulum was better rather than sitting shuffling cards and waiting for cards to come out. I don't know if it's because I do the cards and maybe I don't see the value of what I do myself, but I see the value in what other people do. So
Yeah.
might have been a little bit of that going on. But I do feel like stopping and doing the cards kind of interrupted the flow a little. Anyway, nonetheless, we got to sort of towards the end of the show, and Patrick was saying along the lines of what he would really like is for somebody else to be using a pendulum, maybe at the same time. So perhaps Wayne would ask the question, and then two of us would see if we were getting the same response, the same answer. And then he said, "You don't have a pendulum, do you, Ruth?" And I said, "Well, no, but actually, no, I think I'm going to have to get one." And so I emailed Patrick, and he sent me his lovely chart, which I downloaded. And over the Christmas holiday, I started practicing with my pendulum.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at what moment do you subscribe to his channel? Is it right away after the Talking with the Planet #1? Or
I don't know for sure, but I definitely would have subscribed by the time I went on with him, but probably from his first, because I was just so blown away by what he was doing and what was coming, and the fact that he took you on the journey with him and now having done the pendulum myself and know that when you very first start, you're literally just spelling out one letter at a time. Now on a personal level, I'm words ahead of the pendulum, and even at some points the pendulum's just going round in a circle and I'm receiving the message even though the pendulum's kind of not pointing anywhere. So yeah, with practice it all does come, but you just have to be in practice in earnest.
all right. And then after that, I come along in January 26th, and I start working with Patrick.
Yeah.
And just before I do that, I did reach out to you for a private reading, and that was before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then after Christmas, I started working with Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, we were already friends.
Yeah.
So one day we were talking as friend, and you said, "Well, I have some question."
Yeah.
So I helped you formulate the question so we could get a good answer.
Yeah.
And I got something here for you, my friend.
Oh, okay.
I got the video you made of your experience with Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
And I got all the questions. So I'm going to share my screen,
Okay.
and I'm going to play just a question, and you can give a new reflection on it maybe. But you guys, if you want to see the old video that Ruth made, you can go in the description box. There is the link for Ruth channel, and you can go and look for the video, which is called, how did you call it again? mm, uh, Sharing my experience.
Experience with yeah.
So uh, okay, here I have it. So let me share my screen, and here is the video. I do. The other voice that you'll hear is my friend Caroline. She asks the questions for Patrick. So, and because she's does that way, then you get more questions in. Otherwise, Patrick's kind of sitting reading questions and then answering. So, between the two of them, they're formulating a wonderful experience. Okay, take it away, Patrick.
Then we have kindred spirit tarot. A question for source frequency. Could you explain to us the meaning of triplet number we all see at all the time? What should we understand from those messages included 111, 222, 333, etc., and also 911? Please and thank you.
When you notice numbers occurring on a regular basis, this is to prompt you to psychically make connection with source. It is like an anchor point. It keeps you on your course. It makes you think. Also, they do have the ability to activate certain abilities within you. Some people use the word gifts. They are not gifts, they are abilities. They are natural to you, but not all are activated.
All right. So, any new insight about that?
Well, that sent me off on a complete spiral. So I was in perfect agreement with Patrick's answer. So my understanding of seeing numbers and triple numbers is that they are markers, and that it is for you to notice at that moment, what were you thinking? What were you actually doing in that moment? And what are the numbers and how that relates to each other? So I was in total agreement with that. And then when he said, some people call them gifts, and they are not, they are abilities. And I thought, I wonder actually how many abilities in the English language that there are, or how many words there are, like responsibility. And I thought, I'll go and look it up. I'll look it up and I might use a few of them on one of my readings, and say to people, you can have responsibility and etc., etc. But when I actually looked up how many words there were with the word ability at the end of it, there were 736.
And that, my friend, it's something significant. We just don't know what it is right now, but
Yeah.
we are working on it, definitely.
Yeah.
So just
I mean,
remember,
wow.
736
Yeah.
word
Each
made
of us
of.
have access to 736 abilities. Isn't that just amazing, and something I wouldn't have known or even thought to have looked had I not had that question asked and answered?
Well,
Yeah.
there is so much we don't know about the language we use. I mean,
Yeah.
we just listen to Sento Bonacci.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing, the
Oh, it's amazing,
origin
isn't it?
of the language, all the words, what they mean, with their
Yeah.
origin. It's like, oh my God. But 736 ability. Could it be that there is a 736 ability that we have access to,
Yeah.
that
I
we all have? I mean, 736 ability.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go and
Is breathing one ability? So what is exactly an ability? Is it
you have to go
something
and
conscious or unconscious?
I think it would be conscious. Like, take the word liability.
Right.
Again, take the word responsibility. These are things you'd have to. I feel you would be doing consciously.
Right.
But the unconscious part is kind of accessing the gift of that. If you want to change it back to the word gift, it would be the gift of the ability.
Right. And something else we need to talk about. I help you formulate those questions, right?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to be sure you were going to have a response.
Yes.
And if you guys listen carefully, I also talk about the 911.
You do. Yes. That was your little slip in at the end, wasn't it?
I'm like, yeah, that's a good question. And also, I see 911 all the time. So let's put this in the question, make two question one.
Yeah.
So we received the answer for your stuff, but the source didn't answer my 911, which I did discover later on. and I made a video about it. It's the first video I made for Jacob Israel.
Okay.
And you can just go on my channel and look it up, and it says for you, Jacob. So that was the main reason of the 911, and I did find that out after we did ask the question and receive an answer.
Okay.
So then there were question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys ready? I'm gonna
Yep.
share my screen again. We're gonna go with the question number 2.
Next question is from Kindred Spirit Tarot. Ruth, hello Ruth. Question for Earth Frequency. Who are the orbs around me when I do my readings?
These are some of your spirit guides. They are there to prompt your words and ensure that you are giving an accurate message to those for whom you are working. You have a genuine natural gift. You exercise it wisely. Trust in yourself. There is much for you to do. Keep up the good work. Finish.
Isn't that something?
That is like an absolute one of my wow moments. I really did, after listening back to that, go wow, wow, wow. So I know I'm being prompted. The reason I know is that on occasion when I don't watch my videos back, I don't edit, I don't watch them back. It is what it is. And when people leave me a comment saying that there's an orb, I have to have a look. Of course I do. And so then I'll watch back. And I sit there sometimes and I'm amazed at what I am hearing back from me. Like, did I really say all that? Has all that really come from me? Because in that moment, I feel like I am so finely tuned.
Yeah.
In that real moment. And it is amazing how sometimes where I feel like I'm searching or reaching for a word, and it just comes, and now we know where it's coming from and that they are helping me.
Yeah, because most of the time when you're searching for a word and you're not sure, we see an orb and you just start.
Yeah, and
That's how
you
it
can
works.
actually see, can't you, in real time,
Oh yeah.
that they appear, and then so does the word. And now we've got the correlation of Patrick saying that is what is happening, and now we have it in real time that you can actually go and watch that is so really happening, and it's just amazing. And then to hear that well, obviously it's a natural gift. It is something that I don't put effort into. It just, the effort goes into the preparation. So
It's not a natural gift, it's a natural ability.
Ability, absolutely. Well corrected. And so before I do the reading, I prepare, I meditate, I make sure that I'm in a good place of receiving, so that I can receive those impulses. So for me, meditation is about quietening the mind, and personally I do it through breathing. So I consciously breathe in and out, and I think when I'm breathing in and out. And when you do that, you stop thought. So you do kind of empty your mind. And over time and a daily practice, it comes a lot easier. So I can, as soon as I've done my meditation, then I set up all my camera Again, that takes a little bit of work. But then once I've done my introduction, you'll hear me retune back in, and it literally does just take another breath to get back into that zone. So yeah, there's a lot of background work that kind of goes into it. And so once I actually go into the read, then that really makes sense of, yeah, it's a natural ability because nothing's pre-planned. I like to do it with the format that I do because you can see me shuffle. You can see the cards come out. There is no skullduggery. I'm not kind of, sitting there shuffling and then, I don't know.
You don't make it up.
No, I'm not making
It's
anything
legit.
up. It is what it is. It's all genuine. I love doing it. And the fact that the message that came back is that I exercise my ability wisely. That was so nice to hear. And the intriguing part that there is much for me to do. So where next, I ask myself, but I'm sure that there is a plan and a purpose. So I'm looking forward to the next step.
That's right. And also, one day I was having a friendly conversation with Ruth, and there were a lot of orbs that night, and I started recording, and we did catch something, and I share the recording with Ruth, and Ruth sent it to Patrick, and Patrick isolated the part where I got my eyes out of my head, and we see that orbs. It's a small video. I never thought that Ruth would post that on her channel, but she did. So, but and on top of it, I was not recording well. I was kind of still learning on operating those stuff, but we can't hear Ruth, but we definitely see the orb.
Yeah.
And it's not just a circular one. It looked like a feather, right?
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
it kind of spiral too.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you want to look it up, once again, go on Ruth's channel, please. And then we have the question number 3. Allow me to share my screen. Oops. Share my screen. Share. Okie dokie.
Then we have Kindred Spirit Tarot. A question for source frequency. Okay, it's about our dog. So do we ask source or do we ask the dog?
Is the dog alive or is the dog deceased?
I don't know.
Just read the question, Caroline, word for word.
Word for word. Can you ask my dog, Tulsa, was it she who tugged my dressing gown that time in the kitchen?
Of course it was. Who do you think it was? I am always around you. As are other previous pets. We love you. We would never leave you. Finish.
How's that? Now, there's a story about that. And I like to just say, to begin with, that I didn't help you write this question, right? That's why I didn't know if the dog was alive or not. And I knew you had one dog, and I wasn't sure of the name. So I couldn't tell, but good job.
Absolutely amazing, because that is a question I needed answering, and I haven't had the answer for it. And even though I started pendulum work and that kind of thing, it wasn't something that I thought of doing myself. But when you started helping Patrick out with the questions, and because we were already friends, for me it was the perfect opportunity to get that question answered. And oh boy,
What happened? You got to tell the story.
Okay, so I'd had a lot of renovation work done in the home I was living in at the time. We'd completely gutted the house and we'd redone it all. And so I was standing in my lovely, nice, shiny new kitchen, making an evening cup of tea for myself and Mr. Kindred Spirit. Feeling all happy and feeling all good and feeling in a very good place. And then suddenly all the hairs on my arms went up, the back of my neck, I went all prickly. And I thought, I feel like there's a presence or there's something. And then I felt this tug, like on the bottom of my, it's a dressing gown or what some ladies call a house coat, like you wear it in an evening before you go to bed. I felt this tug like that. And it made me look down. And I looked down and I even said, "Is that you, Tulsa?" Because it was what I felt. And of course, at that point,
you felt was exactly the same gesture you would feel when she was alive and she would come at you.
come at me. Yeah, she used to come behind and in the back of your knees and would buckle the back of your knees. Oh yeah, she was a real character. Oh, she could. She'd shut the door. We used to say, "Tulsa, shut the door," and she'd run, put her feet up, and shut the door. Oh, she was just an amazing dog. Well, to know for sure that that's. You see, at that moment, I felt it was her. I spoke to her. So all the feelings that I had I've now got confirmed. They were correct. And again, it's just another reason for me not to have doubts on this ability that I have to connect, and that animals have been trying to connect with me prior to me even doing my channel and what I'm doing now. So, yeah. And then after that, because I was in the week we did the show, and I think it was over the weekend, or it might have been on the Sunday or the Monday. I received an email from Patrick, and it said, "Tulsa won't leave me alone. She's been bothering me all weekend, and she won't leave me alone until I tell you she loves you very, very much."
How's that?
Well, it was amazing because after I'd had that question answered, I fetched some old photographs out of Tulsa, and I sat talking to her, and I sat telling her how much I loved her and how much she meant to me in my life. And she was obviously trying to answer me, but I wasn't receiving. So she went to the next person who could. And yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
She won't leave me alone.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's the Dirtman dog.
Yeah.
She gets what she wants.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. It was
Yeah.
so funny at the same time.
Yeah.
So, my next question would be, here I passed on something. Hold on. Oh, yeah.
I'm having a sip of tea. And just so Patrick knows, it is Yorkshire tea.
I'll join you. Love my cup. Oh, look at that. I love your cup too.
My friend who I used to go...
witches are from Uranus.
All the best comedians are.
Yeah. All right. So, during the holiday that just passed, you started working your pendulum.
over the Christmas holiday. Yeah.
So tell me a little more about that.
Well, the reason I was started the pendulum was so that I could assist Patrick on Wayne's show.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it because I was thoroughly enjoying myself. It was intriguing me, and I was, so engrossed in it all.
And plus, we were told everybody can do it.
Yes, exactly.
Just try it and really commit to it.
Yes, it's everything's a practice.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Just change your life with by practice. Anyway, where were we?
You start working the pendulum to assist Patrick.
And I've watched Patrick and his how to use the pendulum and that kind of thing. And Patrick always says, "Do I have connection?" And I always have to go into detail. I'm just one of those people. So for me, it was I couldn't just ask, "Do I have connection?" I wanted to know, who am I connected with? Who or what? Do you want to be called source? Would you like to be called spirit? Are you creator? And so that's the question that I asked the pendulum.
How do you want to be called?
Yeah.
Who am I connecting with?
Who am I connecting with? And it came back, Archangel Michael.
Wow.
I just sat back in the chair, and now I am having a moment of, I cannot believe this now. I have connecting with the most powerful Archangel Michael. I'm feeling, at this moment, I'm feeling so protected. It was an amazing moment that I really couldn't put into words, but it was kind of in that moment, I had so much clarity of, it's okay to do exactly what I'm doing, because remembering that I came from a growing up which was all Christian based.
Just a moment. What we just saw was an orb, people. Did you catch that?
I didn't see that myself, but then I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Okay, so
keep going.
I'm intrigued to watch that back.
Yeah.
Okay, where did I get to? I'm feeling protected.
Yeah.
By Archangel Michael, who's probably just made a little appearance to let you know.
Yeah, that's probably him.
And I don't know why, but my next question, I don't know why I asked, but I just asked, is it okay for me to talk with the planets? I don't even know why I asked that question, but the fact that the answer came back no was like, okay. So I'm not supposed to talk to the planets, but obviously I'm through a process here of being guided to use a pendulum.
Use the pendulum.
Now I find I'm connected with the ascended Master Archangel Michael. Then what is the purpose of the connection? So I asked, and Archangel Michael said, you are to write a book with my assistance. And so it's a slow process, because obviously I'm doing it through the pendulum. And also I have found initially working with the pendulum it takes a lot out of you. It takes more out of me than doing the cards. So I can do quite a good session with the cards without feeling
drained.
Depleted of your energy. But I have found with the pendulum, gosh, you can have massive headaches. You just want to sleep for hours after. So I've had to exercise my time wisely with the pendulum, because I don't want to jeopardize anything by overdoing.
Yeah.
By overdoing things. So it's made me kind of really chill out. There's nothing horrible going on here. It's all good, and everything will all come in its own time. So I've done the foreword of the book, and we've already started kind of into chapter 1. And it's amazing when I read it back that it's not anything I would have written, and it's not even in the way I would write, but it is how it's coming to me through the pendulum. So it's just amazing.
Do you get a title yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it doesn't matter, but everybody know Ruth is writing a book, so we'll be waiting for it.
Yeah, and even if I get a title, I'll probably keep it to myself till it's all done anyway. So
yeah,
but I do have
can't
a couple
blame
of
you.
Yeah. But I've got another book I want to do as well now, you know, with other discoveries that we've gone on as a group and things. So yeah, there's lots of things going on for me at the moment.
Yeah, and well, that's how Patrick has influenced your life. Is there any other way he had influenced your life? You're now using the pendulum in your private reading, don't you?
I do on occasion, if I feel prompted to do it. I don't always, but sometimes I feel prompted just to ask the same question.
It's not like a special option we can have. It's if you feel like it's needed, then you'll do it.
Then I'll whip out the pendulum.
Okay, so you people, if you want a private reading with Ruth, it doesn't mean you can always have the pendulum, okay? It's only, and it is true, it drains you down. I've tried to work my pendulum, and dear, I can tell you, even if I practice for 10 or 15 minutes after, I feel just drained,
and you get all that buzzing in your ears, and which, I mean, I've constantly got the frequency in my ears anyway, all day, every day, from the moment I open my eyes. But when I've done the pendulum work, it can really go to a whistle. So it kind of, you know, that you are raising your frequencies going up.
Yeah, because you now hear sound you don't used to.
Yeah.
And I do that too. I got the earring in my ear, and now, if anyone want to know, before you ask in the comment, I do have a pendulum, I do have the chart, but it is not the way I'm supposed to work my ability. Didn't quite find out where is my place. I'm just going with the flow. As long as it feels good, it must be the right way. So the pendulum, it's not the way I work my ability, but I can guarantee you I do get great insight. And Ruth can tell you guys I'm legit.
You are definitely legit. You got some great wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So is there any message you would like to say to Patrick as for the legacy he left behind?
Well, Patrick, I can honestly say that you have inspired me. You have made my progression along my journey so much more colourful. I have so much access now to abilities that I kind of didn't know I had, or I didn't know, or I thought maybe I could possibly have them, but didn't know how to access any of this. And now I have had a whole new world opened up to me. I mean, a book. I've got, because I mean, you've seen, I've got notes everywhere, pieces of paper. I mean, I'm constantly writing. I'm constantly downloading information. As when I open my eyes in the morning, it's all there.
Yeah, and one day we did got a very good uploading, and it's called "What's Wrong with Uranus?"
Yeah. Yes. And then these things, you know, when you think about it, I would never have been doing this. And
well, me neither.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I'm having the absolute best time ever. And well, if this is a spiritual journey, I can recommend it I can totally recommend it. It's life-changing, absolutely life-changing. You don't look at anyone in the same way before, and you lose a lot of the low vibration, low frequency things that you could have resonated with and vibed on before. You leave all of that behind because you're too busy being up here, and you don't want to go down there to them. And unless they're going to come up to you, then never the twain shall meet.
That's right.
So
And
that's my message for Patrick. It's wow, what an absolutely fabulous journey he has sent me on. How he has, it's just inspirational is the word that just keeps really coming to my mind. Inspirational. Patrick, you are inspirational, my wonderful friend, and I love you.
we love you, Patrick. We
Yeah,
really
we
do. Now, I have one last question for you, Ruth.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but I told you I was going to ask you because Patrick confessed us something in the chat room in the very beginning when I started working with him, and
Okay.
I was wondering if it happened to you too.
Okay.
Do you fart sawdust?
Not quite, but they are very nice strawberry smelling ones.
Yes, people. Patrick did told us in the chat room one day. He said, "I'm so old and I'm farting sawdust." It was so funny. I thought, I don't know. I had to ask you.
No, that's
Are
fair
you
enough.
now farting sawdust?
I'm not quite that old yet.
Well, thank you very much, Ruth. This was a lovely reflection, and there's going to be more of your reading on your channel. You are working on a book, and I know you have a lot of stuff going on right
Yeah.
now. Just don't want to spoil because I I'm her friend, and I know a few stuff, but I can't say it now.
Not
But
now.
you guys are going to find out soon. And Patrick, I hope you enjoy. This is all for you, and also it's for everybody to realize that you don't have gift, you have ability. And what is more important is that we all have ability. Everybody can pick up the pendulum. Honestly, the pendulum is not the way I should go, but I can make it move. And I can tell you, I can guarantee you, when you work on it and you hold your pendulum and it start moving, it's
Yeah.
I'm not moving it. I'm not doing it. It's moving along.
Do you fart sawdust?
How do you know? Did you see anything?
I could hear it.
No, I didn't. I promise. Might be my chair. But I would be the only one to smell it anyway. So people, just realize this, that we are in a great awakening, and the great awakening is just about that, to realize that we all have the ability to tap into the consciousness and frequency. Some people will be talking with dragons, some people will be talking with the planet, some people talk with Archangel Michael, some people are talking with a deceased one. You know, the pendulum is not the only thing. There's tarot card you can use to connect. I
With
mean,
rods.
anything you do as a creation.
I should be practicing the rods next.
Yes.
That's my next thing. Patrick's going to make me some rods.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be practicing those, along with a book I received from my friend Rachel.
Oh.
She's divining ancient sites, so it's all around the UK. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get some rods going and practice and see what we can find.
Well, let me know if you find a treasure, because I need some.
Oh, if I find some, it's definitely halves for you, of course. Well, we just need to let everybody know that they are more than they think they are.
Yeah.
Because we can all do. You can pick up the tarot, you can pick up the rods, you can pick up the pendulum. It's just practice and learning. And for me, it's not a chore to be learning anything. In fact, all I've done all my life is study and research. So all of the knowledge that you hear kind of coming out, that is already sort of in there. It's kind of when the cards come, that's when it's accessed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody can do this.
Everybody.
Anybody.
So this is why I now call it the Garratt's legacy, because the main goal for Patrick was to teach us that it is possible,
Yes.
that everybody can do it.
Yeah.
When there is a will, there is a way.
Mm-hmm.
So, creation is creation. As long as you create, you get the inspiration and you connect with source, and those are only tools,
Yeah.
So on this, I'm getting ready to terminate the reflection. Hope you all enjoy it. Hope that it did inspire you to do it your own way and find your own inspiration and put it out there. Just put your inspiration out there and show the world. It's time that we see more of the people awakening and sharing, which is the most important. We need to share and come out of the isolating path that we are on, because the truth is that we are never alone, no matter what.
That's right.
So on this, my friend, much love
Much
to
love,
all
my
of you.
friend. Yep. Speak to you soon.
Love you, Patrick. Thank you, Ruth. It was a lovely meeting. I don't know how long we've been on it, but it is what it is. And I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Bye, you two.
Bye. Bye, Patrick.
Bye, Patrick.
Bye, everyone.